Forward for Manchester United in Ruud van Nistelrooy's first game in charge of Manchester United. I'm delighted to say that Fraser Campbell joins me to talk through it all. So Ruud, I was nearly called you Ruud there.
Similar players.
I got carried away. Thoughts on Ruud's first game then?
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was like the old Man United. You come to Old Trafford and you expect to see goals. Attacking football. Being on the front foot, and that's what we got today. It was a pleasure to watch. I even struggled to keep count of who scored the goals because it's been a while since we scored so many goals. So it was a good evening and very happy for Ruud.
And a great night for Casemiro. We talked about it a little bit at half-time, and I think he nearly went for another one at the end of the game there as well. But great to see a real galvanised performance from him. Yeah,
you know, he's been under scrutiny a little bit in the media and stuff, but he's a quality player, and performances like that today are what we expect. What he's probably expected is standard throughout his whole career. He's a fantastic player, and he's unlucky, like we said, not to come away with a hat-trick. He's been brilliant today. He's got his 2 goals.
You can see the players coming off the pitch there too. A great atmosphere from the fans, and the fans need goals in a game to get excited for the next game, for example. That puts us in such a good form going into Chelsea as well. The confidence is there. We talked about that before the game, how the goals can breed confidence moving forward.
Yeah, your goals win your games, obviously, and the players have done a lap there to clap the fans and show their appreciation, because you need them sometimes. Sometimes when you're under the cosh, your fans can help you to get over the line, and the fans were in good force tonight, and that's because the players were scoring the goals and making it an exciting game to watch. So it was great to see.
See Ethan Wheatley there as well. We talked a little bit about maybe seeing some players getting some minutes. The manager obviously made 5 substitutions tonight, but nice to see Ethan Wheatley get on the pitch as well. Yeah, good to see more of him. Yeah,
he's done brilliantly in the youth levels. Scored a lot of goals. Got a chance last season, I think it was, and these are the games that he'll be looking at, thinking, hopefully I can do something. You've seen him running around a lot, trying to get involved in the action. It'd been brilliant for him to get a goal, but it wasn't to be. But just to be out there with the first team players, I'm sure he's super proud of what he's achieved.
12 goals we have scored so far in the Carabao Cup. We have been lucky in this competition the last few seasons as well. Could this be our year? Because there's only a couple of games to go, as we said before, to get to Wembley.
Yeah, we're in the quarter-final now. Spurs are playing City, so one of them's obviously not going through. Newcastle against Newcastle playing? Chelsea, yeah.
Put me on the back foot there. I was like thinking quickly.
I knew it was another big team. But
Spurs got 20 minutes left of that game, but they are leading that one.
So two big teams are going to be out there, and you find yourself in the quarterfinals. You've scored a bucket of goals coming up to this point, so you got to fancy yourselves.
Let's talk a little bit about Garnacho as well. He was absolutely on fire down that left wing.
Yeah, that's the standard we're used to seeing. A lot of players' form of being a bit up and down, but he's remained consistent. He's been involved in goal scoring opportunities or goals like he was tonight, and he's been a real threat. He's super direct. He works really hard for the team, and he's a real asset for the club at the minute.
We talked a little bit as well just before we came on air how impressive Ugarte was this evening. What did you like from him?
He was just a rash. He was just giving the opposition no time on the ball. It was covered a lot of grass, and he looked like he was up for it. Like I think a lot of the players looked like they were up for it. But he's new to the team. He's new to the club, and he's trying to find his way. It's been difficult for the team in general, so it's not been the easy start for him. But performances like that, if they can keep it up and he can play, get more minutes, get match fit, I'm sure he's a quality player, and we'll get to see that in the coming months. What
kind of manager do you think Ruud van Nistelrooy will be in that dressing room? Obviously, we've seen him, he was celebrating a couple of the goals down there on the touchline.
Well, he looked $1 million stood on the sidelines, so he looks like a bit of a smooth character. But, he's a winner. We saw that throughout his career. He wants to win, and I think that probably comes across to the players in the dressing room. I think a lot of the players will respect him, respect his thoughts, and, listen to what he's got to say, because especially the young forwards, you're looking at someone like him and you think, he can give you a lot to learn from. So I think, you know, it'll be a real positive influence in the dressing room, and, you know, that showed today.
What forwards did you learn from?
So again?
What forwards did you learn from?
Well, Ruud was one of the forwards.
Yeah.
I remember doing a finishing session with Ruud, Solskjaer and Louis Sarr, was it? For that, yeah, it was pressure. I was waiting for someone to miss a shot, and you know, it never happened. But they were the guys that I was constantly watching.
And did they talk you through, you know, techniques and stuff at the time?
Yeah, they're all brilliant. They're all. I think back when I was just started coming through, a lot of the players were like coaches anyway, and that's probably why you've seen a lot of them stepping into that role, because you know the manager had his message, and the players just echoed that throughout the dressing room and in the training pitch. So it was them guys that would, you know, if you was doing something in training, say, oh, you need to do this or try doing that or whatever. But they were great, you know, ultimate professionals, and that's why they were so good at what they did.
Let's talk man of the match. I have an idea who you might go for, but the poll is on the Manchester United app now. Fraser Campbell, who would you choose?
Well, I guessed before the game that I was hoping that it was going to be Bruno Fernandes, and he scored 2 goals today. I think he's been super frustrated over the last few months. You know, he's an honest player. He's the captain, and he's doing the sendings off, for example. I think he was just trying to do too much, and he was getting caught up in it. So I think I'm really pleased for, you know, his 2 goals today. Even on his second goal, I think he was waiting to try and pass to Xerxes, because he knows that, you know, he could do with a goal himself. But you know, I thought he played really well today, and mainly for the fact that he needs a goal. I think I'd probably say Fernandes.
See, I actually thought you were going to say Casemiro. No,
Casemiro was brilliant. But, you know, I think Fernandes, he's had a lot of shots this season and he's not scored. So, you know, I'm really happy for him. But, yeah, it could have been Casemiro on a different day.
It could have been a couple this evening, couldn't it? OK, well, as I said, you can vote online on the app, and we will let you know the results a little bit later. Let's hear a little bit, though, from Liam and Ben now.
Rip-roaring Manchester United win, a swashbuckling first half and a tightened defensive second half for Manchester United. Ben, absolutely brilliant, really, all things considered. I think the big thing that stood out to me was taking your chances when they came.
Yeah, I mean, they had a pretty difficult start to both halves, actually. You know, for the first sort of 10, 11 minutes of each half, they were under the cosh. But once the goal went in, you could see the way that the team relaxed, especially in the first half when the vast majority were scored. They looked really dangerous. They broke with purpose. Their passing was really good. And more to the point, the finishing was really on point tonight.
Yeah, exactly what Manchester United needed. It gives everybody a big boost and a big lift in confidence. Two midfielders today were absolutely incredible. Casemiro, I think, misplaced just 1 pass in the entirety of the second half, but it was Manuel Ugarte that really caught the eye for you.
I thought he was superb tonight. I really did. I think the way that, even in the very, very early stages, the way he went to press in that far corner, it's not always going to be him, but he just seems to have a really good reading of the game. And you always tell a good player when they have time on the ball. And OK, we will come up against better sides. You know, we'll see a better Leicester team in 10 days' time. But I just thought the way he was in control, he just started to range your passing, and the way he's got the ability to win the ball back is something that is invaluable when you're playing in a midfield.
Everybody's going home smiling, and that's absolutely brilliant. Let's get you back to the guys.
Yeah, nice to see goals at Old Trafford, and just been speaking to some of the fans as we came pitch side. Everyone happy for the team to win, to be scoring some goals, to get through to the quarter-final, and just, I guess there's a bit of a relief as well. Did you feel, Simo, the fans of seeing the team register a really good victory?
Yeah, I think relief and just excited that we scored a lot of goals. The fact that we scored 5 goals against a Premier League team, because obviously we've struggled at times. You mentioned before the show, we've created a lot of chances but not putting them away.
Yeah.
And with Ruud, with his first game in charge, I think, and he, you know, him mentioning he wants to attack, and I think everyone was happy to see a United team going for it and not really having any fear. So no, it was good to see. In second half, didn't concede, and we got another goal. So yeah, no, it was a great night all night long.
But you were quick to point out, don't get carried away, because it was very much a second string Leicester out there, and you know Leicester very well. it'll be a much different test when they come here in the Premier League. But don't get carried away with the result, was your message.
Yeah, no, listen, it's a Leicester team that have come here with, I do know them, they've got Ipswich at the weekend. It's a massive game for them. Listen, you still got to beat what's in front of you and score as many goals as you can. But like I said, don't get too excited, because you look at the team that we had against theirs. It was their second team, lads that have not played many minutes or played many games. A lot of their first team lads on the bench, or Jamie Vardy wasn't here, so it's weird not seeing Jamie Vardy in a Leicester team anymore. Yeah. But no, look, ultimately they still had a job to do, and they did it. But like you said, it'll be a very different test when Leicester come back in 10 days or so.
The biggest ovation for the players leaving the pitch was for Casemiro. Again, as we were entering pitch side and watching the players walk out, Casemiro was getting an unbelievable reception from the Stretford end, and rightly so, after 2 goals and a brilliant display. Yeah,
and he was so close to a hat-trick as well, wasn't he? He missed a header, which he probably would be disappointed, but it was probably the easiest chance. But no, I think, listen, we as fans, whoever, we appreciate him, appreciate his career, appreciate this first season he had. And like anyone, you're gonna have tough times. I think what that was the fans saying, listen, like, well done for coming back from some of the performances we've seen this year, but we know you can play like that, and we want to see him play like that even more. We want to see him scoring goals, shooting. He had a lot more energy tonight. He was getting up and down, whether that was because of Agate, maybe doing a bit more sitting role, but he looked like he was getting forward more tonight, and which was good to see as well. He looked really fit.
Yeah, it was a nice combination with Agate, with Bruno just ahead. Of course, Eriksen's been in great form and was rested tonight. We actually saw Christian, didn't we, when we were walking back up to our position to watch the game. We saw him with Harry Maguire, who was walking well, which is good, and Toby Collier. The 3 of them were just walking to their position in the director's box to watch the game. So good to see Harry moving well. But there's a decent competition in midfield. If Eriksen returns to the lineup, which you expect he might do, given that he's been one of our better players in recent weeks, it's going to be tough to drop someone after both Agate and Casemiro played really, really well, and Bruno's pretty much undroppable now.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think, but we want competition, and these, don't forget, you don't ever mention Cobby, so for these lads, they know they've got a young player, who's wanting to get back from fitness.
Can't wait to see Cobby back as well,
So they know, look, this is our chance to perform. Agate, he's took a few games to get going, but he looked really good tonight, which was great to see. Obviously, Christian will be watching that up in the stands tonight, thinking I get to get back in the team at the weekend. So that's what you want, though. And I said in Dustin as well, these players, don't forget, yes, they're playing for Ruud now, who's the new manager for the time being. We don't know what's going to happen. But also, if there is a new manager, is he watching? Is he keeping an eye on people? So everyone, again, starts on a clean slate. No one's guaranteed a spot. So everyone's playing for places again, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, great point. We will get your reaction as soon as we can. For now, though, let's head back to the studio with Helen.
Thank you, guys. Just talking about Ruud van Nistelrooy there and the reception he got at the end of the game there from the Stretford end. No different from when he was a player, but I bet for him that was enjoyable.
Yeah. He didn't expect to be in this position, and he's led the team out, and they've played brilliantly. He said they were going to be on the front foot, attacking football, and that's exactly what we saw this evening. So it was justified for him to get that round of applause from the Stretford end that he's had several times before. But he was, he really earned it tonight.
We talked about attacking, being on the front foot. 23 shots, 9 of those on target this evening. And sometimes not necessarily all the goals go in, but the crowd need that, don't they? Yeah,
you need something to be excited about. Like I said before, you used to come to Old Trafford and expect to see shots on target. They might not always win the games, but you expect to see them going for it, attacking the opposition and scoring some goals. 9 times out of 10 they'd score 2-3 goals, so it was good to have that again tonight. I know it's only in the cup, but you can only beat the team in front of you, and they did that really comfortably today.
We will find out in the match day review who we will be facing in the next round. Who would you like?
Don't really care, to be honest. I think it's always better with a big team, maybe a Newcastle, something like that, to because there's always a special atmosphere in the cup, and when it's two big teams, it's even more special.
Yeah, Spurs would be a good one.